The Socratic method actually encourages you to ask what-if questions. So you're studying something from history, for example, and you learn this is what happened during the American Civil War. You are encouraged to come back and say, yes, but what if they had done this instead of this? You're studying chemistry, and they say this is the way this happens, and this causes this reaction. Again, the Socratic method encourages you as the student to say, but what if instead of adding this, we added this? And then beyond that, the Socratic method allows you, again the student, to have responsibility and some control of the direction of your education and learning. We talked about that just a few moments ago, but here you can really see it when we talk about asking what-if questions. And then another thing that the Socratic method does is that it teaches you, the student, again, how to think about questions and answers. And it also teaches you to listen to and respect the viewpoints of others. It promotes effective listening as a necessary skill for the best learning process. In other words, very often we make the mistake in our educational process and just in life in general where we don't listen. We make a statement, we talk, and then someone else comes in and they give their opinion, their reaction to it, and we really don't even listen to them. We're so anxious to come back with a response, we don't hear anything that they say. So the Socratic method teaches you to listen to the opinions of others and the thoughts and the ideas of others, and then also to respect those viewpoints. So you respect them, and you actually listen to them, and you evaluate them. You don't just say, well, no, that can't be, but you listen to them. If they say the world works this way, you don't just say, well, no. You listen to it and you say, well, that's an interesting concept. And you think about it and you evaluate it before you respond. And then, beyond that, the Socratic method teaches you to recognize and evaluate your own personal assumptions. And that's kind of a new thing for many of us. Think about that. We all have a whole list of personal assumptions that we carry with us. And for example, if you were to think that if there are two of us in the room and one of us thinks that the world is round and the other one thinks that the world is flat, we both have different assumptions, and that is going to affect how we look at the world, how we look at the cosmos, and so forth. So we have to learn to look and say, well, this is my thought, I feel this way, but then look and say, well, of course that's based on this assumption. And then, again, moving on, the Socratic method teaches you that one question can have several different answers. And at the same time, not only can one question have several different answers, but that one question could have several different answers, all of which can be correct. So one question can have several different correct answers. Again, think about that for just a moment. And then finally, because of all of these things, the Socratic method promotes higher levels of abstract learning. And this takes you into the realm of the gray rather than the black and white statements of objective thinking. You go into new areas. You ask questions for which there really aren't any pat answers. And that's, again, those are gray areas rather than black and white learning. So I'd say, wow, that's a lot of very exciting and valuable information. And now we're ready here in Lesson 1 to delve into this Socratic teaching and learning process. Before moving ahead now, consider that Socrates also said so very wisely, education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. So think about that one for a moment. When we get content learning, facts, statistics, things like that, factual information, that's part of the filling of a vessel. Those are things that we need. We need that. We need to know the dates in the events of history, for example. We need to know that. And some would call that rote learning. It's very valuable learning. That's the filling of the vessel. Socrates said that real education is the kindling of a flame. So we take that information that we have, those facts, those statistics, and then we move on to the next and higher level of education. So opening your mind and taking time to ponder each of the questions asked in the character and values portion of each lesson will do exactly that for you. It will, as Socrates said, kindle the flame of the most effective and valuable learning possible and available to the human mind.